guys, my name is Mariah and welcome to my channel. And today I'm here with my friend.
I'm Lizzy.
Yes. So we're going to ask her a bunch of questions so we can get to know more about how she got into physiotherapy and learn a bit more about that because we've taken different paths, even though our paths was crossed at various points. So I know this question wasn't a question I said I'd ask, but just a random question. Do you want to talk about generally how your journey was, so what degree course you're on?
All right. So what I'm doing right now
Mm-hmm.
is I'm doing the Doctorate of Physiotherapy pre-registration. So similar to the BSc and MSc, it's a pre-registered course where when I come out of this program, I become a chartered physiotherapist.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many so in comparison to the differences, because obviously we all know that the BSc is 3 years, my master's is 2 years. How long is yours?
3.5.
Okay. So 3.5 years. That must be stressful. But another question I have for you regarding that is what made you pick that?
Ooh. so um so actually in my entire just context, I never wanted to do a doctorate. I never thought I would ever do a doctorate in my entire, even doing BSc, doing a dissertation just at BSc. I was just like, I'm not going to do doctorate ever in my life. But I think it's when I wanted to apply for a master's, and it was so I'm doing this course at Glasgow Caledonian University. In short, it's GCU, and they actually offered the doctorate program, and excuse me. And so they did have the masters, but they also had slots for the doctorate. So they said to me, you could always apply for the doctorate and then you can get waitlisted for the masters. So I thought about it, and as a collective, I discussed with my family, and it seemed like a really good opportunity because for masters and a BSc, I think what correct me if I'm wrong, this is just from my fresh memory.
Yeah.
What I understood from a master's and BSc is that you come up as a physiotherapist. You doesn't guarantee that you can get into like a fully fledged research, whereas and you can't necessarily basically it's a bit narrower. You just become a physiotherapist.
Yeah.
Whereas this doctorate program gives me more doors, and I love more doors. Clearly, since I did sports science, I just love, I love all that. Yeah, because I think from my perspective is that I'm someone who's still not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I do know it's something related to do with physiotherapy, healthcare, and yeah, and honestly, I do enjoy research. It can be stressful, but I think
just you.
Yeah, it can be super stressful, but I think there are some elements about it that I do enjoy. I think it also depends on the topic that you're doing, and if you're invested in it, it really doesn't feel too burdensome. Yeah, so I guess that's why does that answer?
Yeah, fair enough. In terms of the research aspect, I'm not too sure, but I can see what you mean. I can see why it would be slightly narrower because depending on the university you go to, depending on how involved you are in that external research, participating thing, you're not really open to that door. And I mean, for me, a doctorate would be too much personally, but I think with the masters, it suits me because with the masters, it's kind of just okay, I kind of know where I'm going to specialize anyway. I have a rough idea. So I'm kind of just okay, cool. Whereas obviously, if you still don't have much clarity, having those doors is a good option for yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing about the doctorate. It's meant for people who know what they want to do and don't really know what they want to do. So I'm actually, I think out of my entire class, I'm one of those very few people who still don't know what to do. Yeah. And I think the doctorate, but you're gonna lead on to that. I think this can lead on to the next question is so you asked about placements and whether mine is integrated or is it like you learn everything then back to back placements. I believe that's what yours is about.
Yes. So mine's kind of integrated. So the way Birmingham set things up, they set it up that right now, obviously I finished my first semester. I'm currently in the second semester. And the second semester we have a first placement coming up. And then after that we will have I think it's 3 placements in the first year. Whereas it's 3 but 2 physio placements. One of our first placements is like a nursing placement, and then so like all the teaching is basically taught in the first year, and then whereas the second year we would have one module alongside the dissertation, and other than that it's just purely focused on placements at the time.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, so mine would be so actually my first year is exactly the same as the master student. So I joined classes with the master students. So we do all that learning, and then we pre-COVID we would have had that 1 or 2 placements in that first year, but then because of COVID we had to exhaust all the theoretical elements first. So finish all the assignments. The master students did their dissertation, and for the doctorate students we just had to be like, well, let's just bounce into the doctoral writing then. And that's what, so it's like before I could even finish the master section, we had to start on the doctoral sections because that was writing and we could do it online. So what the course now currently is even before COVID, this was what our plan was, and it's following through now. We do basically, that's for one, so we call it trimester, for 3 months. Like it's actually just a semester, but we call it trimester. And what happens is we would have like a trimester of writing, and in between there would be a placement. So the last trimester, winter trimester, what do we do? We had 1 month of writing, and then 1 month of placement, and then 1 month back to writing. And personally, I like this more because I get really bored easily if I do the same thing over again.
No,
like because when I was placement, I was actually like, I mean, it's great. I love learning on placement, but then I don't know. I think I can't do the same thing over and over again every day. It needs to be a bit different, and this is what I like about like having the writing and then the placement and then writing. So I get to work in different functions. Yeah.
No, I get that completely. Like, I mean, we don't really do that in Birmingham based off just how the course is structured. So if you want to have a balance of things, you got to throw your own little in there somewhere. And like I do that by filling up my plate with a bunch of stuff. So it's keep my attention back, because I'm completely the same. It's like there's only so much you can really deal with. But the next question I have for you is, what 3 words would you use to like describe physio, like the degree, the profession in general, just in case anybody's unaware of like what physio is, or like what your perspective on physio is?
Okay, so it's challenging. And this word challenging itself, there's really like 2 sub words for it. It's meticulous and versatile. So those would be the 3 I would describe it as, because it's challenging in a way that like it covers a lot of areas, and when you're on placement, I'll share a bit of my experience, was you don't realize that you might sometimes need to infringe a bit of that job description on other jobs. So like if a patient has wet himself, just because in the textbook says you have to call the nurse because that's a nurse's job, but then when you're there itself, it will be up to you to help the patient, mobilize him, make sure he's clear from the bed, and we can remove his sheets, make sure it's safe. And then like we would have to do the job that the nurse does as well. And it wouldn't really be a problem. It's not really a problem for us when we're actually on the job. So in that sense, like it's very versatile, like being a physiotherapist. And what else? Oh, and meticulous. So I think the meticulous part came from when I was actually studying during the practicals, like so the first year of all learning, I realized it's very meticulous, and we have to be very like accurate, like not necessarily anatomy wise. There are bound to be like a few mistakes. Like sometimes you can't always get like the right L3, L4, because sometimes when you're counting along the way, you miss a few numbers. I just thought it was very meticulous in the learning process. But once you get through it, it won't be as like you realize everything is not black and white. And you realize that everyone doesn't have the same conclusion of a clinical diagnosis as well. So one person could come up with like, oh, this person has a slip disc, and then someone could be like, oh, I think he just has blah 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 blah, and then like, oh, well,
I mean, we find that now in class as well, where we'll do like breakout rooms, and the teacher will ask us to listen to like someone's audio case study, and then we'll all like plot what we think it is, and we kind of like justify with each other, like, why would you think it's that? And they'll be like, oh, because this person said this, and I'm like, yeah, but it could be that. So it's like we started that from early, and as you were saying about the nursing, I feel like that's probably why like my uni is making us do the week with the nursing, so we just shadow the nurse. So I think it's just to appreciate the multidisciplinary team and understand that even though, like you're saying, your job description may say one thing, you have to be open and understanding that that's not always going to be the case.
Yeah, definitely. I wish we had that nursing, like not entirely like a whole nursing placement, but like a warning, by the way, just because, because when I was thrown in, it was I can't give too many details, but basically I was a bit shocked because I've never seen a lot of certain anatomical parts in my life, and then boom, it like slapped in my face, and it was my first day as well. I was just like, where do I look? What do I do? I felt so useless. But then like once I think it's good communication with the practice educators, but we'll get into that later if you want.
No, I completely agree that it's all like it is good to see it, because like my sister's doing nursing, and like sometimes we'll like speak about some of the crazy stuff we hear, or we'll be just like, oh well, I don't have to do that, and it's like, well, you get paid. No, I don't get paid to do that, whereas you do that and you're doing it for free. So I think it'd be like, it's one of those ones. So I think it will make me appreciate her career path more, and be like, so when like she gets to that point, I'll be like, I completely understand what you're going through, but not for me. But yeah, it's just not. So I get that. I completely get that. But the next question, obviously, you've already answered it. That you're going to Glasgow Caledonian.
Yep.
Yeah, Glasgow Caledonian. And what year are you in?
So I'm in my 3rd year now. Yeah, halfway through.
Nearly there.
Nearly there. I'm just like, please.
Yeah, just like, because the time honestly really flies. Like obviously, I'm only completing my first semester, and I felt like I just blinked, and it's just so you got to enjoy it, I suppose. In that sense.
The days are pretty slow, but a year goes by very quickly. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there have been days where I'm just like, oh my god, please finish, and then next thing you know, oh, the week's over. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah. But can you give like us an overview of how your course is structured at your university?
Yeah, so I wrote down here pre-COVID and a COVID.
We need those.
Yeah, so pre-COVID is just probably for those who probably won't be affected by COVID.
Hopefully not.
Touch wood.
Yeah.
So my first year was in January 2020 to December 2020. For some reason, I realized when I applied to Scottish universities for postgrad, most of them started in January for some reason. And so sorry, some noise will be there.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's January 2020 to December 2020. That's the first year. And it's exactly like the master's program, and you have a placement and you have a placement in between, and you complete all the practicals and your exams. So these exams are like vivas, so like literally like this, and assignments. So that's your first year. So by the way, this is all pre-COVID. And then in the second year would have been January to July 2021. So that is me for the doctorate program still. So in the second year, that's when we were supposed to enter the doctoral program.
Okay.
And so this would be, the second year would be from January to July 2021. So what happens in these 7 months, we call this 7 months the second year. I don't know why, but yeah. So basically what we do is we do a critically appraised topic, where based on 3 or 5 on any topic that we want to talk about. So mine was on the effectiveness of dry cupping on the neck. And neck. And you have to choose like 3 to 5 articles to write this critically appraised topic. And then that was like a 4,000 word essay. And then a research proposal, if I remember correctly, that was like that was a 4,000 word essay as well. So basically writing out your research proposal, and actually you get some contact time with supervisors. And then professional development. So in this module, you write like 4,000 words, and in it you have to write a reflection based on your clinical experience, where in our case it was teaching experience because of COVID. And NHS criticized the NHS pillars of practice and philosophy, knowledge, knowing how we learn, and all that
Don't
jazz.
remind me of philosophy.
Yeah, and in the second year, we were supposed to do our second and third placement as well. So what happened between the first 2 years for me was basically January to March was what I learned up to the shoulder in an anatomy wise. And then we continued just doing all the assignments and again, like I said, exhaust all the theoretical elements. And that came up until September. And the master students did their dissertation from September until December, whereas I did the critically appraised topic, research, not just the critically appraised topic and professional development. So no placement that year.
Yeah.
And then my second year, we continued doing all the practical exams, continuing our practicals. And then we did, so we finished that in like May, and then we went into our first placement. And then I continued with my research proposal and just my research proposal in from May until July. Then we can continue with third year and fourth year, which seems to be the same as it would be pre-COVID. So third year would be September 2021 until July 2022. So I'm just about midway. And what happens is I'm doing project 1 and professional development 2. So professional development 1 was the first one. This is professional development 2. So in professional development 1, I'm doing a research on AAA, so that's abdominal aortic aneurysm. And then my professional development 2, I'm working with kind of collaborating with the NHS, doing NHS manager on service evaluation of the obstetrics physiotherapy services. Very exciting, actually.
That sounds really exciting. I mean, not for me to write, but sounds exciting to hear about.
Yeah, it really is exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. Like just having these because I get to do meetings with the NHS members as well. So that was really I loved it. And my fourth year, so that will be in September 2022 until July 2023. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Project 2 and placement development. Professional development 3. So third year I have placement 4 and 5, and then my fourth year we have placement 6 and 7. Placement 7 would be the elective, so choosing anywhere I want to do it in the world. And so project 2 will just be a progression of project 1, and professional development 3, I'm not quite sure yet, but hopefully it'll be around as exciting as like professional development 2. Sorry, I know to keep it brief, but it was quite a lot.
Fine. It was your course is so much longer than mine. So and you're teaching me something I don't know much about the doctorate. Like all I know is you're on the doctorate, and I'm like, my friend's doing the doctorate, and that's all I know. And they're like, what's she doing? A doctor. I don't know any more than just a doctor. So that's kind of how I am with that. But that sounds like you have a lot to do. The nursing aspect, the NHS aspect sounds really cool. Honestly, like that sounds like a great opportunity. I know, like obviously you're into your research. In that sense, so for you, that must have been like a kid in a candy store in that sense.
Yeah, for me, project 1 was basically a topic suggested to me. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, so that's when my supervisors came in and like it worked out, and it's still working out. Sorry, because I am still doing the project. I'll keep you updated how it goes. And professional development 2, the service evaluation for the NHS, that's quite interesting. So basically, I think it depends on universities as well. This is how GCU sets it up. So I believe Robert Gordon University, so RGU in Aberdeen, they structure theirs. I might be wrong, but this is what I understood from my friend who has applied before, is that they do basically they complete the masters and then they dive into so they finish all the placements, I think. And then they do the doctorate. So it's not integrated like mine, but this one suits me better. And so for my one, my lecturers, I find that when you have a very good support system of lecturers and supervisors, it works out pretty smoothly. And interaction.
I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Like,
feel like for me right now, that's one thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I went to Birmingham because it's like a good university. But I think that's the one area, like the communication between the staff and like us as the students, and in terms of like that integration, like us working as a team, I think that's it's somewhere that is lost a little bit. So it's
yeah,
like I kind of feel like there's not a true connection. Like there's a connection between us and our tutors, but like beyond that, it's hard to connect the dots. Where I feel
yeah,
like everything would be so much smoother if
yeah,
everything was connected. And I'm kind of hoping that, you know, everything would be way more connected this semester, and it was just like a bump in the road because obviously they went from online teaching to in-person teaching. So people are probably just still finding their bearings in that sense. But that's one thing I'd say the
yeah.
students.
You'll find that they are also probably equally or not more or less jaded than as we are with
Yeah.
the whole situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
It's
at
good.
the end of the day, they're also human.
Yeah. No, that
But no,
too
I
as
do.
well.
Yeah, yeah, but I do agree because like when we were in Kent, I felt like I had more like support.
Yeah, no,
from
that's how I felt like
the
in Kent. There was a bit more. By the way, yeah, we both went to Kent. We did the exact same course. Like, I feel like we just dove into that and we did this man that
oh
yeah,
yeah,
we both
oh
did food
yeah,
science at Kent. And then we both transferred out of Kent.
yeah. But still good
Thankfully.
friends, still good friends.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I felt like in Kent we had like, I mean, to be fair, we were first year undergrads, and there was like more structures, like shadowing kind of thing. You could easily communicate, and then I feel like I got the same. I'm not sure about when you transferred out as well. I'm not sure if that's the same in Exeter, but like I felt like in Hertfordshire, I built a closer bond with the teachers, so it was so much easier to communicate with them about things. Like, I can still communicate with them now about things. Like I find it easier to go to them in my undergrad tutor than I do my yeah.
Yeah, I think for me because like what your situation is when you went to Birmingham, you wanted to go there because it was prestigious, it was top ranked.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, because Exeter was also prestigious and top ranked, it does come with its like cons a bit. I mean, like
Yeah.
the lectures are still quite like helpful. It's just I think because they're researchers as well, so
Mm-hmm.
they have to take up the hours of teaching and well lecturing,
Yeah.
so they don't have that much time to accommodate for you,
Yeah.
and sometimes reaching out to them can be very it can get impatient, and it can, yeah, it does really test your patience for me. But I mean, yeah, I think it's just about like understanding the whole context that like they also have another
Mm-hmm.
job on the side. Yeah, I guess it's just a whole poorly done system of like
Yeah, I think everything's like so much smoother if everybody understands that everybody else, this isn't just everybody else's main thing. Everybody else has something going on. So like we can respect that the teachers have something else going on. That's why they're taking a little longer to respond.
uh,
But they also have to respect that we have other things going on as well.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like we all have to
yeah, because
respect that every party has other aspects outside of this. So
yeah.
as long as we communicate and we are understanding about that, everything should be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Because like from what I understood, one of them is definitely a someone still doing her PhD,
Ooh,
lecturing like a few classes per week, supervising five students in five students for their dissertations
wow.
in undergrad, and supervising an master student as well. So I'm just like, I can understand why you're not replying my emails, but I'm annoyed because I can't
No,
get these things
yeah.
done. Yeah.
No, I get that. I completely get that. But
Yeah.
since we've kind of already like driven into it, like dove into it, how's like what was your path up? Like, do you do A levels, B Tech, and then obviously university? You went to the same uni, well, the first uni. But yeah, like, do you just gonna give like a
I think we both have been to more unis than anyone has in the span of like a few years.
yeah? How many unis have I been to? I've been about what, 4?
Yeah.